I saw a shadow person once. I didn't know what it was called until much later. I was living in a house in Laguna Beach that had been there since the 1920s. In its history, it had been a speakeasy, a brothel, and a house for smuggling illegal immigrants. One day, my new husband and I were having an argument. I can't even recall what it was about. He walked down the block to get a cup of coffee and cool off, and I was alone in the house. The way the place was built was incredibly haphazard. There was a bedroom and living room on one side, then a bathroom with 2 entrances. On the other side of the bathroom, there was a hallway that had windows on one side and 2 bedrooms on the other. From my bedroom, I could look across the hall into the bathroom, then through the bathroom and down the other hall. I was standing at my dresser, and I just noticed movement out of the corner of my eye and looked down there. There was, and honest to God, this gives me goosebumps just typing it, even 17 years later. A black figure. It was maybe 3 feet tall, and it was only vaguely humanoid. It looked like black scribbles, like someone had just scribbled a human shape, but the scribbles moved like electricity arching. That's the best way to describe it. There was no sound that I could remember. I distinctly remember when I saw it, I wasn't afraid, just like, what the hell? Then, it noticed me looking at it. I can't say it turned around, it just focused on me, I guess. Then, I was scared. I didn't move, didn't scream, nothing. I was just frozen, because it just came at me. It rushed down the hall towards me. I have no idea what it intended, but as soon as it entered the bathroom, the door closest to me just slammed shut on it. Then I screamed. I yelled for my husband. He wasn't home. I went outside into daylight and didn't go back in until he got home about 10 minutes later. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe I saw something supernatural. But I know I saw something. I don't know what it was. Edit. I'm not giving out personal info because I haven't lived there in almost 20 years. But if you're ever in Laguna, check out the blue ramshackle apartments down the street from the Whole Foods and Cafe Zinc. The place with the ivy-covered gate. Dude, when I was a kid, I saw the same thing that almost met your description. I was laying in my bed, with the door to the room in front of me wide open and to the left. I could see the room where the front door was. There was an antique cabinet that my dad had that illuminated a white glow. I started to freak out for no reason, and started sweating. For some reason, I knew something was about to happen, and I was about to witness it. About 5 minutes later, laying in hot sweat, I saw it. There was a door in the foyer by the front door, and that was storage. A black, outlined humanoid figure walks out. Mildly static-looking, like you said. It takes a few steps toward the front door, then stops. Does a military-like turn facing me. At this point, I am freaking the hell out, eyes wide. It walks into my room and stops beside my bed. Does one more military turn facing me. At that point, I figured, what have I got to lose? I noped the hell out of there and ran through the thing, ran upstairs to my parents' bedroom and knocked furiously at the door, waiting to let me in. Eyes focused on the stairs, making sure it wasn't following me. Nothing. I slept with my parents for the next few nights. That's one of the scariest things that's happened to me as a child. I have a couple more different stories, but I'm at school right now and can't write them all. If there's interest, I just might. Edit. Holy crap, I didn't realize how universal this phenomenon was. I'll admit it, I am the one to believe that it's something supernatural. However, like some have mentioned, it could have been some sort of brain function. Either malfunctioning or certain neurons firing in our brains to project said images. But why then have so many people had such similar experiences? Edit 2. 11 a.m. Pacific Time. Story 2. A short time after the shadow people encounter, I began to settle down and my thoughts were no longer fearful. I also believe this was during the time I put up a dream catcher that my mom got me at the time. Let me just say that the dream catcher really did the job for years. Maybe because I truly believed in it and my mind worked in my favor. Anyway, I woke up one morning to my mom yelling down the stairs for me to get up. It was a school day. I had a shower, came back to my room, and sat on my bed, sluggishly slipping on my school uniform. This is where it starts to go down. As I was pulling up my socks, I noticed a flash outside my door toward the room with the front door. Not the bright camera type of flash, but more like an invisible person walking past super fast by my door. For those of you who played Halo, it looked like someone walking around with the invisibility cloak, but real fast past my door. It was like you could still see it, but not entirely. I saw this from the corner of my eye and began to freak out. I went upstairs to eat breakfast, and I remember how scared I was. I sat there staring down at the table as I ate my cereal. My mother asked what was up, and I looked up at her with a straight face and said something along the lines of, "I saw a flash by the door downstairs. Something walked past my door." I said this calmly and with a straight face. And now that I look back at this, I must have looked like a classic creepy kid. My mom replied with, "It's all in your head." I went back to eating, and she went in the laundry room behind the kitchen. And that's when it happened again. I was eating when I saw another flash of an invisible person walk past the kitchen door. This time, I was paralyzed. As in, I stopped chewing and now stared straight down the table. Those things were just playing with me. My mom walked in and stopped, seeing my reaction, and again, I calmly said, "It just did it again, over there," pointing at the kitchen threshold. I told my mom, "Something is playing with me and I am not imagining things." What really relieved me, but freaked me out at the same time, was her reply, "I know." It relieved me because she believed me, but freaked me out because she basically confirmed their existence. About 10 seconds later, we both heard something walking down the stairs. They were old and wooden, so creaking could be heard, very slowly. I remember thinking to myself that it sounded as if their cover was blown and they were trying to sneak out. My mom and I both looked at each other, and once we heard it stop, we looked around the corner down the stairs. Nothing. Dad had already left for work. What the hell?